So the first thing we need to do, let's unpack the fact that you're here because you've lost your job. This, of course, isn't a place that anyone wants to be. It's something that I always remind people, and I want to let you know that I've gone through the UI process myself. I've lost jobs for different reasons, and there's a full gamut of emotions. So it's important that you acknowledge kind of what happened and and let yourself journey through that. But remember not to camp out there. Let yourself deal with it and then move forward and try to stay positive and on top of keeping your thoughts positive and being kind to yourself because it can be a really rough ride. So just remember, unpack the feelings, go through the emotions, and then just keep moving forward and surround yourself with good people. And I had to cut out watching the news and Dateline in 2020 and things when I lost my job because it was just too much negativity around me. So just do what you need to do to keep your environment supportive and encouraging, and try to kind of control your thoughts when the negativity creeps in. And when we're talking about the myriad of emotions that happen from losing your job, it is 100% a roller coaster. I remember I told a friend of mine, I said, I think I've become bipolar during my job search because in the morning I'd be excited because I was job searching. And then in the afternoon, I'd be like, well, I haven't heard from anybody, or I'd get stressed out about something. And then later I was just in a dark place. And then I was happy again, all in a few hours. It's completely normal. It's the scariness of something new. Oh, allergies are creeping in, excuse me. And this is where we want to remind you that Career Force is here. We are a group of professionals. We're highly trained. We have extraordinary administrators and leadership that just pour knowledge into us and the cutting edge technologies for us to be able to support and champion you. So I encourage everyone to please connect with your local career force after today so you can learn about our programs and resources, but you are not alone. We're here to take care of you and help you to get to where you want to be. So again, journey through those emotions, but don't let them control you. Be mindful of when the negativity creeps in. Just say, hey, I'm not going to deal with that today, and push it out. So when you're on the recovery process, the recovery of having lost your job, again, recognize those feelings. You need to find a safe outlet, people you can talk to. And sometimes you just have to just let it go and move on and not keep ruminating over it. Forgive the situation. Sometimes people do bad things and things that are unfair, and we just have to let it go because it really is only toxic to ourselves when we continue to think about it and let it take hold of us. And then accept that something new is coming. You know, to not be Hallmark, I like to remind people that everything that happens in life is 100% purposeful, although sometimes in the moment it doesn't feel that way. It's totally possible that you can pivot your career from doing something that you were doing into something different. You could find different training. You could even maybe amplify what you were doing and get a little nugget of additional knowledge so that the next job that you have, you really love and it really feeds your soul and makes you happy. So keep in mind that there is going to be change and newness, but it could be the most amazing thing to ever happen to you. And it could really be beneficial, the fact that you're going through this change right now. It's going to be okay. So bouncing back can be hard. It's a choice that we have to make every day. We literally have to wake up and say, okay, well, and let's talk about that. Be mindful that I know when I went through the unemployment process, there would be days when I would just have pajama day. There were days when I'd be in my same pajamas for 2 or 3 days. I think it's really important to, to get up in the morning, try to not stay up too late, take a shower. You don't have to get dressed professionally, but, take a shower, be clean, just so that you feel good, you feel fresh. And then make a schedule, get yourself ready. Choose to be optimistic that day. Choose to say, okay, I'm going to be stronger. I'm going to be more mindful of my thoughts. I'm going to have positive energy. Really be aware that our thoughts control us. And so, again, push out that negativity and even write things down. Write down positive affirmations, things about yourself that you do well, to keep your mindset on the moving forward. And then sometimes I have taken Post-it notes and I put Post-it notes around my mirror or around my computer screen just with positive affirmations and things to help remind me when I start to get into that doubt, because self-doubt can take us over. that self-sabotage. So just be mindful that you want to harness the positivity and the goodness of who you are and your capabilities, and leave that past behind you. So part of staying positive when you're job searching is talking with other people. You want to talk with other people, make those connections. That's a big part of connecting with your local career force, connecting with different professional resource groups around you. I like to tell people just to put in their, I always say Google, but whatever search engine, you can put in professional resource groups, professional organizations, and then the job title you're looking for in your zip code. That can open up a way for you to connect with others and find those support groups. We also at CareerForce have job clubs. Highly encourage you to go to our events page on careerforcemn.gov and check out our job clubs. Do some exercise, get up, walk around, turn the music on and just dance around your house. It's nice outside, go for a walk around the block. Consider maybe if there's some sort of counseling, if you need to talk with someone, sometimes your local churches or synagogues, your local 211, which is United Way. A little moment there, my brain escaped me. United Way may have options for that as well. Again, the self-affirmation, the positive talk, and sometimes volunteering, just getting out and being around other people is helpful. It helps remind you of your value. I remember I got a part-time job when I was on UI, and it was so great for my mental health because I was out with people and I was engaging. The portion about if you do get a part-time job, make sure you talk to UI. You have to work less than 32 hours per week and make less than you bring in for weekly for your UI benefit. So, but definitely connect with UI if you have questions about that portion. So let's talk about the game plan. Moving forward, moving on, you want to have access to yourself. You want to be able to tune back into who you are and to hone your skills. And even I like to recommend that people try a career assessment. Even if you are a C-suite powerhouse, you're at the very top of the food chain in the employment field in professional life. Sometimes a career assessment can be really beneficial, and it can help you to think about options that you hadn't considered. We have these links that are listed here. We have our, we do have new slides coming, which is super exciting, but we have our, it's now careerforce.mn.gov, great resources. We have the My Skills Future, My Skills, My Future. We have CareerWise. There's the Career One Stop is one of my favorites. And the one, oh no, I always say that wrong, Sandra. The ONET, that's not ONET. I'm going to send them
Yes,
to
it
you.
is. It's ONET.
But it says 1-2 online.
ONET online.
ONET online. You know, I have dyslexia and I didn't was diagnosed with it till later in life. And sometimes it twists me up. So excuse me. It is ONET online. I have to phonic it out.
So, Jack,
Yeah.
we have a bit of a hiccup. I do not have access to the chat. And
Oh, that's fantastic. That's really great.
I wanted you
So,
to know that.
okay.
I tried
Um,
all the buttons and all the menus, and I've even gone to help
okay.
online. So just be
Let's,
aware of that.
okay. That's something new. Okay, folks, so I want to let you know that normally, and my goodness, how many of you have been writing things in the chat wondering what's going on? I am going to talk to you and then keep going here. Sandra, I'm going to send you a note on Teams. Okay, so we're going to keep going now on the email that you'll receive tomorrow. This there's going to be these links that are just so good that will help you to that you'll be able to click on and you'll be able to go and resource and here we go. I'm going to send that to Sandra. So the links that we send tomorrow, it's amazing. There's probably 40 or 50, and it tells you how to, we have like labor market links. There's links to the different events, different workshops. how to pivot your career. And something I always tell folks, if you get into the or the resources that we give you and you're thinking, how do I really get the best out of this? I don't see the value of this. That's when you definitely want to connect with your local career force so you can say, hey, I received all this information. How do I use it? We could either meet with you in person. We can do a Teams message, which is like a Zoom, like a virtual, and kind of show you how to navigate. The real key is being able to jump in and connect with your career force. So I do want to let y'all know, I'm not sure why the chat's not working, but I want to tell you we're going to give you our very best and we're going to keep on going here. If you have the email that Sandra had sent you with the invitation, then if you have questions, you can shoot it through to her email and we can work on that. I'm going to, and we're going to continue talking about our online tools. So this is another example of some of the information we'll send you. I'm telling you these, like on here, it talks about the different interest assessments, the skills assessments. When you take a career assessment, again, I recommend everyone do it. You have free time. It's really exciting what it tells you. Most of them will send you an email with the actual results, but I encourage you to just do a copy paste, capture that and put it on a Word document and save it for yourself just in case. And then after you take all of them, you can kind of match them up and look at them and kind of see the information it gives you. And sometimes it's nice after you take career assessments or just kind of dig through and look at all the different resources and kind of get your mind thinking about other options. Sometimes I do better the next day because I've been able to sleep and your mind marinates and is able to put everything together. And then again, look, your local career force, reach out. Another option is the My Skills, My Future site has extraordinary information that shows you videos on the different types of jobs, the different careers. It tells you how you can pivot where you're at now if you want to transition or even if you want to dive deeper into what you're currently doing. There's also a site called JobStat. This is going to be through our personal page, and it talks about the different types of industries that you can work in. You can even search different occupations. And something we've noticed recently, I don't know if y'all have seen this, back in the day, even just a few years ago, you could read someone's job title, and that really was what they did. It told you what their job was in just a few words. But nowadays, job titles are really kind of mysterious. Sometimes it could say that you're a project manager, but then you really don't have anything to do with projects. You're doing other duties, even like a sales manager or what is one I heard of the other day? And the reason why I mentioned that to you is because when you, like, let's say you target a company, you have a few companies and you say, okay, I want to work for this organization. Be mindful that when you're scrolling through the jobs that they have posted, there could be a job title that is not appealing to you. You read that and think that is not me in any capacity. But if you took a moment and you read the actual job description, it could fit you like a T. Could be amazing. I like to tell people to go to like what I always say Google, but whatever search engine, and type in different job titles for such and such career and put in the job title you're used to and look at what it brings to you. Look at the different options. Also put in you could put in LinkedIn profiles for people doing such and such job, and then go and look at people's profiles, look at their education, look at the different wording and verbiages of the types of jobs that they've had in that same industry, because the verbiage has changed. A lot of how things are presented are totally different. So I encourage people to always be curious and to instead of sitting around waiting, I wish someone would send me this information, or I sent someone an email waiting for them to call me back. There's so much with technology and AI. You can just speak into your phone and ask for tips, for pointers, for information, and it'll come to you. So just be curious and get out there and kind of make it happen. Bring the information to you. So preparing for the job hunt. One of the things you want to do, probably the very first thing, other than make sure you have the right attitude and you're not in your pajama day, go ahead and get organized. Kind of want to manage your schedule, kind of balance your job search activities. I think that I remember for myself, if you're just staring at jobs and it's just if you're just looking at jobs, scrolling, going through different sites, staring at your resume, you kind of glaze over. Take time to look at the different workshops you could participate in a day, or an event that you could attend, maybe some sort of social networking event. Take time to include in your day that you're going to job search for a couple of hours. Don't forget to get up and stretch and have snacks and hydrate. Take a little moment to watch television for a little bit just to let your brain escape and reach out to a friend. Make sure that you are setting goals for yourself so that you can keep up. For example, if UI reached out and asked you kind of for a list of the jobs you've applied for, your job search activities, you'd have that available because you kind of had a schedule put together. And I always encourage people, it's a good idea to have a notepad where you can just keep a list of the different types of well, like I always put, even at work, I still use my Teams and my Outlook and everything, of course, but I put the date at the top of the page, and then I just kind of jot down things that I'm working on, things I need to work on. Maybe someone pops in and there's a conversation or something happens, and I need to reprioritize. So keeping a list of the folks that you've interfaced with, the people that you find on LinkedIn or the different job searches, is really, really valuable. So you can go back to it later. So keep good records. Make sure that you know who the contacts are and the different individuals that you've reached out to, so that you are ready to tackle each day. And you remember what you did yesterday and the day before in case you need to go back to your notes. Now, what is a SMART goal? So SMART goals are specific. You need to know, what exactly do you want to do? What is the goal? What's on the agenda? Everything needs to be measurable. How are you going to track when you complete that goal? And everything should be achievable, of course. What resources will help you to complete that goal? Make sure it's relevant. Why is this goal important to your job search? And be timely. When are you going to complete the goal? Maybe have a specific date, so that you just don't have a lot of loose ends out there. And what should I research? What should you be looking at when you're job searching? It's really crucial that you study a company's products, their services. You look at what is their vision statement? What is their mission? I do want to have a little commercial here for you. So please be mindful. Different pages like Indeed, for example. So if you ever see a job on Indeed that's posted, I highly encourage you to go directly to that company's website and apply there. It has been known that Indeed will keep jobs posted that they're available that have already closed. So please apply directly to that company's website. It's also crucial. You must tailor your resume to mirror the job description word for word. Of course, only if you meet those requirements. But your resume needs to tailor and mirror that job description exact word for word. Pay attention to the company size. Look at their history, kind of the locations. You can Google search all sorts of information on companies. You can look at their employee feedback, employee reviews. You can look at client reviews. And you can even look at, are you in an industry where things are bought and sold a lot of times? And we want to be careful about that because there's so many things changing. And we might find that we have, you might find yourself in another situation where you're laid off again, or companies bought out and they just let everybody go. So look at the financial situation, the potential growth. Yeah, and I had mentioned, do the mission statement, the philosophy, does it align with who you are? Have there been any recent changes or initiatives? Are there grants and so their business has been able to grow? Have they lost money? Have they, their stocks gone down? Just be mindful of that. Pay attention to the human resource policies as well. Look at their LMI, their labor market information. We have the email we're sending you. It has a link for that. I totally can get lost in that. It's just a fun thing to research. I will share that they are working to try to get our chat and everything together. So I hope I'm entertaining you and you're doing well. Can you do, I wonder if you can you do little emojis? I wonder if I can see emojis. Can I get an emoji or two? I don't know if I can see those. And then also pay attention to the salary. Oh, that's fun. Thank you. Pay attention to the salary and the benefits. So a big part of just people talk about the numbers. What is the number? What is my salary? The benefits make a big difference. How much insurance is paid? What are the portions of insurance that are taken care of? What is the deductible? And then you want to look at, is there a 401k? Is there what type of PTO? Kind of what's happening. So look at the big picture and be mindful of that. Look at, do they pay for education if you want to advance yourself? And this is also a time when you could go on LinkedIn and look at their people and see how long have they worked there. Have they worked there for 10 years and they've been in 3 different positions? That shows they allow growth. Just really dig in, and also when you look at people's profiles, the folks that take LinkedIn real seriously, there's folks that if you look at them, they're going to look at you. And that could be a bonus because they could look at your information and your education and your work history and say, ooh, we should reach out to this person because you mirror what they're looking for within their organization. So just be mindful that every touch point that you do can be purposeful. And you're always on stage. When you're job searching, you're always on stage. So every time you reach out to somebody, just kind of pay attention. And then I'm going to do another commercial on that being on stage. Please, when you answer your phone, I always say this, when you answer your phone, please be pleasant. I know there's a lot of calls that come through from numbers you're not familiar with. When you're job searching, you really do have to answer all of those calls. Please be pleasant, answer the phone and be inviting. And then instead of being like, who is this? What do you want? And just be receptive to the call. If it's someone you don't want to talk with, you can always say, thank you for calling. I'm going to let you go now, and then block them. But just be open-minded and sound friendly and inviting, because I have known recruiters that have reached out and tried to do that initial phone screening, and the person was really short and abrupt with them. And so they just said, oh, I'm sorry, I have the wrong number. And I'll tell you, Sandra and myself, we make a lot of calls. We have a lot of connections with folks every day. And sometimes the beginning of those calls is really rough and uncomfortable for us. So you never know. Be kind, be receptive, be the type of person that someone wants to work with and spend 40 hours a week with. So where should you research? Look at the company's website. Google the different press releases, library references, librarians. You know, a lot of that stuff's online now. You can just kind of type it in and ask, or even speak into your phone and ask it for the history of organizations. Definitely jump into LinkedIn. The career information websites, we're going to send those to you tomorrow. And then the informational interviews and conversations. So that's when you actually have when you have conversations with HR, when you are reaching out to different individuals to kind of find out more. Use your social network. A lot of times, if you've worked in an industry, sometimes there's these niche industries. Somebody knows somebody who's aware of someone who worked at such and such, and just kind of reach out and see who knows what. And remember to always keep it positive. Definitely tackle your network, and then don't forget to step outside of your network and jump into the search engines to find networks within your area. And then your local career force. I can't stress enough how important it is to connect with your local career force, because we know the different employers in the area. The employers reach out to us and talk to us about what they're looking for, what's important to them. A lot of the local career force have a job packet, a weekly job packet they put together every week that is amazing. They can also share with you about different programs and trainings, and you just never know who they know. It's just it could change your life being able to make those connections. So show up and frequently, and reach out often to as many folks as you can. Now, I'm not sure about the business card part. We do have the networking card slide on here. This is a little bit older slide, but some folks still use business cards. A lot of times people just scan them and shoot emails and do quick exchanges. A lot of it's social media. But if you wanted to create a business card, there are great platforms where they're very inexpensive, where you could just include like your name and your phone number. I would not include a personal address, but you could put the city and state, and then just how to contact you, maybe a link to your portfolio. This could be something that if you felt it was beneficial, then there's definitely resources for you. And here's examples of different types of networking cards. You can see the person on the back of it, they put the different types of skills, what they have to offer. This is just an example. And this will come tomorrow in the email that we send out to you. So let's talk about the portfolios. So a portfolio, typically when we think about a portfolio, it's like a leather binder. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. I have gone to interviews before and I couldn't find my portfolio. I had an interview one day, and then I had a puppy at the time that did a little nibble on the corner of the portfolio. So I chose not to take the chewed portfolio in. I just grabbed a manila envelope. Another time I took just a folder. You don't have to be fancy. You don't have to spend money. You don't have to impress anybody. Just grab a folder that's of course in good condition, and bring several copies of your resume with you. Your local career force we have, you know what? Each career force has a computer lab. We have staff that can help you, whether you need one-on-one. We have different training if you need help with computer training. But we have a computer lab where you can not only apply for jobs, but you can work on your resume. We can assist you. We can print out copies for you. And we can give you an envelope. So come in and get those copies. Have probably 5 or 6 copies with you. Sometimes it's a good idea to have your references with you. Take that with you when you go to in-person interviews. There's a story of one of our coworkers who went to an interview, and they told her when she arrived, they said, "Oh, we're so sorry. We're going to have to cancel today because our computer system is down. We couldn't print your resume. We don't have anything prepared." And she says, "Oh, don't worry. I brought copies." Did she get that job? Yes, she did. Because she was prepared and she didn't panic, and they loved that. That's what they needed. So yeah, pop into your local career force to get help with your resume, to get help with your different job applications. Ask for manila folder, print out those interviews, print out the job description so that you have that to review before your interview, and then yeah, print out those resumes. So let's talk about references. So I would like to say that please do not put anything on your resume that says references available upon request. That's really something that has kind of phased out. I would not include references when you are applying for your position, unless sometimes they ask for you to populate it in advance. If it asks for it, then absolutely. I wouldn't send them in when you are applying, though. So you want to be sure that you choose carefully. You need to make sure it's someone who you know will say good things, and who will be able to articulate it and say it well. Look for people who can speak objectively, people that can really have a conversation about what you bring to the table and about your skills and your accomplishments. Avoid references that might be controversial. If there's, I used to say that everybody has had a past employer or supervisor that maybe made them uncomfortable or whatnot, but that's not the truth. There's some people that have never had anything wild happen in their work history, so I don't say that anymore. For those of us that have had curious pasts with different supervisors, sometimes there's folks that you don't want to speak on your behalf because there were just underlining things, and you don't want to be negative and you don't want them to be negative. Be mindful of whom else might be able to speak for you and has knowledge of your work capacity, of your skills, and try not to include someone that could prevent you from getting hired. So you use peers, supervisors, instructors, and clients. You definitely want to ask for permission and let people know when you're going to use their name. Make sure you have their accurate email, phone number. It's also a good idea so let's say you interview and the company says, oh, we'd like to advance you to move forward and we're going to request your references. This would be the time when you would reach out to the references and say, hey, they've requested that I provide my references. Are you comfortable with me utilizing you as a resource? And then if you have a copy of that job description, send it over to them so they know more about the job, and even let them know highlights about the position, the different questions that they asked you. So maybe they can use that to tie back into the conversation about what would make you an asset for their company. And then always thank people and be gracious, and be mindful that when you ask for someone to be a reference for you, be mindful that they have actual knowledge of your experience that's applicable for the job that you're applying for the industry you're going into. Okay, let's talk about checkpoints. We want to go back and discuss the where have we been talking about this far? The beginning, we talked about it's so important that you recover from your job loss. Some people say, oh, losing a job, it's financial, it's a paycheck. You should be able to just jump in and apply, and you should be able to walk in and have a conversation, get hired. That's not true. Things have really changed. You have to tailor your resume. You have to make multiple touch points. And I think it's important that, remember, control your thoughts. Just like when you were working, you knew when you had to get up, you knew when you had to attend meetings. We have discipline, we make decisions, and we are disciplined with our decisions and our choices. Be disciplined with your mind and being kind to yourself and how you speak to yourself. Yes, Sandra, I'm ready for an update. I believe you're on mute, Sandra. We cannot hear you.
I have a group of questions about references.
Okay, so is the chat working? Oh,
Yes,
I see the chat is on now. Awesome. Good job, everybody in the background. Okay, thank you.
So for references, should we ask for or use personal emails or professional emails is one. And then what if you don't have any references at all, which I'm sure you can address? And then what if because of your past workplace and how it operates, you don't have access to anyone who may have a more unbiased perspective, like
So,
healthcare or private
so I'm probably going to need those to be read off one at a time, just so that I can be accurate. But thank you for bulking those up. If we could do those one at a time here in a moment.
All right.
I'll
So
start, I
use
believe.
personal or private emails?
So thank you. I think that I think the personal private, that's completely up to the individual. When you're talking to them, or even when you email them, whatever form of communication, ask them, say, do you have a preferred email address that I use? And then also ask them if it's okay for you to include their phone number. Sometimes when you do a reference, a lot of times everything is done online and done via email. So just ask folks, ask what they're comfortable with. And I think that they would appreciate that. Yes, ma'am. What was the second question?
What if you have no references at all?
You know what? That is interesting. I wonder if that's because you haven't had a job previously. I think that if you've ever done any type of volunteer work, maybe you have a family member, a clergy member, you have someone that you went to school, a teacher, a professor. There has to be somebody in your life that knows you and knows your character, that can speak for you. That is a great question to connect with your local career force on, for sure. And then the next portion, Sandra.
What if because of your past workplace and how it operates, you don't have any access to anyone who may have a more unbiased perspective, like healthcare or private institutes that holds bans on former employees?
That is a question to really, that's a good one. I've had a situation with that with myself. I would talk to your local career force on that one. There's definitely a way to navigate that. Um, and And sometimes, after COVID happened, I think employers have been much more flexible in who they allow to give references and how they see employment scenarios. I know with the state, for example, if you advance to after interviewing to the point where they are looking at you seriously as a candidate, they will send an email to you to include your references. And then I had actually shared when I applied for this job, I had shared that I didn't want my last supervisor to be included because I just didn't feel confident with that. And so they allowed me, for example, the state allows, I think it's 2 supervisors and 3 just past colleagues. But if in that one case of that past supervisor, I was able to use, you could use a clergy person or somewhere you volunteered, or even a previous employer that wasn't the most recent one. So I'd reach out to your local career force, and then also be honest with the HR person when you're talking to them. You don't want to be negative, but you can let them know, I'm not sure that one of the references that I should provide to you is going to highlight me in the best light. Is there another option? And see what they say. Sometimes they're pretty darn flexible. Okay, wonderful. So remember that there's going to be, we're going to on step number 2, and I'm so glad that the chat is working, and I'm so thrilled that you all stuck with us. So face the challenge every day. You know what? This is not what you wanted to have happen, but you're here. This is going to be a refresh. You're going to connect with different people. This could be a great way to pivot where you've been, or even to dive deeper into the career that you've been doing, maybe get some additional training through our Dislocated Worker program. The value of having a positive attitude. Again, so I stopped watching the news. It was too negative. I used to love like 2020 and Dateline. And I was like, my God, I'm watching shows about murder. That's not positive. So even though I love that investigative portion, I stopped watching those things. And I even kind of stopped talking to a couple of friends of mine that just really couldn't relate to just the crazy emotions and dynamics and frustrations of trying to find a job. So surround yourself with positivity. Maybe stop participating in some of the things that might drain you. And then just be mindful, control your thoughts, be disciplined with your thoughts towards encouraging yourself. Don't self-sabotage. Develop your game plan. Just make a list of things you want to tackle throughout the week to help you be mindful, be organized. Have your SMART goals where you know specifically what you're looking at, how you're going to accomplish that, what are the resources. Where and what to research, dive into that company. The way the internet is nowadays and AI, there isn't anything that you can't find and uncover. So just always be curious. I encourage you, don't just sit back and say, oh, I wish someone would send me the so-and-so, or I wonder how I can find. Pick your phone up, press the little microphone button and say, how can I find information on such and such employers? Where can I go to get such and such training? Talk to your phone and let it give you information. You know what? The other thing on the positive parts, I think it's important to remember there's all these podcasts out there. If you need encouragement and support, or you need a little boost, a reminder about who you are, and just to stay focused and to feel energized again, find a different podcasts. They're free. And you can listen to, and of course, make sure they're positive and encouraging, but find a podcast so you can pour that good energy into you. I hit the mouse. There we go. Sound effects are free, folks. So where and what to research, gather your tools. That's where you're just jumping online and you're searching information, you're being curious. Don't be afraid. Sometimes people tell me, they're like, well, I went to this person's LinkedIn and I sent them a note. Call people. Really, call people. Write down what's the name of the company, their name, their job title, and then look up the phone number. Sometimes you can just put into whatever search engine the person's name, the organization, and work number, and it'll come to you. But if not, just call that company's just main number and go through the phone tree where you press the automated system and type in their name. Call them. like old-fashioned phone call, and you can just say, hey, I know it's unconventional, I'm calling, but you have this position posted, or I was looking at your profile, I'd really like to work for your company, do you have a couple of minutes? Could that person say, no, I don't, you need to talk to HR? Yeah, they could. But that person could also say, yeah, absolutely. Tell me more about what you're looking for. And also keep in mind that maybe they're looking for somebody who takes initiative. Maybe they're looking for someone that can be more bold, or that is more people centric. So just find that space within yourself where you're comfortable. If you feel like reaching out, don't be afraid just to call people. And the other thing is, I've heard of people going to I was going to go down the rabbit trail of the oh, Sandra, my brain just went blank because of our technology issues. Oh, the different career fairs. And so this is currently, because of when COVID happened and different things being hybrid and things being both hybrid and then remote. There's so many different job fairs that are virtual. Be mindful that you might be able to attend job fairs and also those networking events that are virtual. Be mindful of the different jobs that are. Look for city, state, county. Look for, depending upon the industry that you're in, pay attention to the fact that you might be able to do the job. You may be able to live here in Minnesota, but work for a city in Cincinnati. You just or in a city in Ohio. I have a really good friend in I'm from Texas. She lives in Austin, Texas, and she runs the IT department for the state of Connecticut, but she lives in Texas. So just be mindful of the different types of careers that are out there. Try to get outside of the usual bubble that you've been in, and how you would job search or how you would connect. And that's where it's so crucial. I'm telling you, your career force people, they're fun, they're dynamic, they're professional, they love what they do, and they like to see people succeed. We have amazing success stories. Sandra, do you want to come on and share different questions that are coming up? And it's been kind of a different workshop because of the technology concerns. Oh, and then another thing I liked, Sandra, I'm sorry, I'm ready.
Yeah, you can continue. Go ahead.
Something I think that is also really helpful is pay attention to keeping your voicemail cleared out so that people can leave you a message. And then be mindful to please listen. If someone calls you, please don't call back and say, oh, hey, I just missed a call. Because that person may have called 3 or 4 people, and it can be off-putting. So make sure you're able to call back and say, oh, hey, I just received a call from Sandra. My name is Jack. I'm returning your call, so that Sandra can say, oh, okay, Jack, and then she can look you up and continue that conversation. Also be mindful of your email address. If we have seen some email addresses in the past that are kind of playful and fun for you and your friends, like the hot Harley dude, and then the like Kim's mom bakes cookies. That's adorable. But when you're job searching, it's consider if you have an email that includes your date of birth or anything that could be deemed as inappropriate or kind of too cute. Create an email like a Gmail or a Yahoo that may be your name and then job search or job hunting and then your name, or just make something that's more professional. That's something we like to tell people. Okay, I'm ready, Sandra.
All right, so somebody wanted to know if there's an ideal resume or CV file name to easy reference for recruiters in the process. If I apply for references directly to recruiter email.
So I would say, so are we talking, so when I think about a recruiter, a lot of times I think about someone that that recruits for multiple companies and organizations. Um, I think that if you're working with a recruiter in that capacity, you just would send them your general email, and then normally they edit your resume and do what they need to make sure it mirrors the job description. Be mindful of, I think there's great recruiters out there, but please be aware that not to kind of put all your eggs in the basket of several recruiters who say they're searching for jobs for you, because recruiters too have to have their pipeline grow every week and bring in a certain number of resumes and different things. So just be super, super mindful of putting too much of your future into a recruiter's hands. I don't know if that answered that. Let's see.
Well, there were quite a few questions that were about specific situations, and I typed in the chat that they should visit their local career force office because every situation, I mean, we can give you blanket advice, but
Right.
every situation is specific to you, the
It is
types of
unique.
jobs you're applying
Yeah.
for, and your experience. So it's always good to get someone, and you can meet either in person, virtually, or on the phone. So check out that resource. And
Mhm.
then there have been questions about resumes, and there is a really great creative job search workshop about resumes that's coming up. Um,
We have
that you can,
several we have several workshops on resumes, and then sometimes your local career force will have in-person resume classes or virtual. And then also you can, I would highly encourage folks to go to the career force events page and to look up like one-on-one job search appointments. Those are very valuable as well. Um, yeah, and you can just call your local career force and go into your local career force and say, I need help with my resume, and then they can either help you there on the spot, or they can set up an appointment for you. We also have a wonderful software. Oh, that oh, let me stop that. We also have a wonderful software that is able to be shared, and that helps you to be able to build your your resume, which is super helpful.
yeah, I put in the chat the general URL for the careerforce.mn.gov site. And I also
Um,
just put in where you can um, find your location.
yes, the email is .gov. It's .gov, and then also when you receive that email tomorrow, it'll have a lot of different, just all of the resources that you need to be able to click and to go to. And again, I cannot stress enough the importance of jumping on to your local career force. Um, you know, it's really crazy because we normally these workshops run long, and we had this technical issue. So now I have 10 minutes. So let's talk about, so we have programs. This is something I like to talk with people about. Even if you've done the same job for years and years, or you've been in the same industry, we have, for folks that are on UI, we have what's called the Dislocated Worker Program. If you're not on UI, if for some reason you don't qualify, we have other programs. But what the Dislocated Worker Program is, where the state continues to pay for your UI benefit, then they could also pay for you to pursue, like if there was some sort of professional certificate or license you wanted to achieve. Maybe that's to enhance what you're doing currently. Maybe, again, you want to pivot your skill. There's training that they could pay for, classwork. There's tons of outlets for assistance in what you want to do. So that's, again, where you would contact your career force. We have, I think that, God, the career assessments are so valuable, being able to take those and being able to connect with someone locally. Each career force has either a partner agency, which is a local nonprofit, or their local county. Outstanding people who have so many valuable resources, years of experience that they can get you connected. And again, you never know who they know. We also have wonderful on-the-job training, the OJT. That's where an organization, where a company would agree to bring you on, and the state would pay for 50% of your salary, and then that company would pay for 50% of your salary. And it's just, normally it could be for 5, 6, 12 weeks. It's just that they decide the time frame in advance. But that's a great way for you to be able to get a feel for if the company's a good match for you and for them. We also have, again, the computer lab, which is available. We have, we have past workshops. We have a YouTube channel of things that you can watch and listen to. There are free trainings that we're going to send you. Like if you wanted to improve your Excel, we have folks that have wanted to, it goes as basic as people wanting to, teaches you how to, even if you need to learn how to budget, it goes all across the board. It can do Canva. It teaches you social media. There's wonderful resources that are going to come in this email. And then also, I think something that's really nice is just the human connection that you make when you connect with your local career force, just to get out and to talk with people, and just to have that ability to be real and one-on-one with folks. Let's see. And then is there anything, I'm telling you, the lack of technology, our little snippet, we did well, but here we are. Let's see. So, oh, you know what? I think that the way AI is going, I think it would be really beneficial for folks to talk to Career Force about if there's specific AI training that we had available, anything that you could attend. I think in every industry, AI is really plays a significant role. And then we have folks that, we also have different languages available. We have the Career Force website has different languages available. We have translators. So we don't want that to be a barrier. If you know somebody that's looking for an opportunity, we have wonderful refugee and immigrant programs. Career Force puts veterans first, their first priority for us. So you need to know that as well. And then are there any other questions? Is there anything that you would like to share, Sandra? In our very unique workshop today, we made it happen, but goodness, it's a little bit chunky, but we did it.
Does Career Force have training for improving being faster at medical documents? The Career Force itself does not have training, but there is a training page on,
And then, and even if you Googled or searched and found a training that you wanted to pursue, you could take that to your local career force and see if we had the ability to be able to pay for you to achieve that. If you don't find what you're looking for on that training page, doesn't mean that it's not available. That's where you would kind of walk in and, or however it's accessible for you, go into call, email, your local career force and say, hey, there's this training program I'd like to pursue, and see if we had the means to take care of that for you. But yeah, that training page is really great, but don't be limited if you don't see what's something that interests you. But any other thoughts from everybody? Anything we want to cover?
I cannot emphasize enough to reach out to your local Career Force office, because there are resources there that you might or might not need, but you never know until you find out what they are. And a lot of the Career Force office, especially in outstate Minnesota, has their pulse on who's hiring, who's not, what they're looking for. So it's a resource that should not be overlooked.
Right. And and I'll tell you, I've lived in a lot of different states and traveled, and Minnesota takes great care of their folks that are displaced and unemployed, and just really champions and supports and wants to see you thrive and succeed. So please do not hesitate to reach out. And if you feel uncomfortable reaching out and you don't know, like, what do I say or how do I approach this, just show up. Just show up, or just call and say, I lost my job, I don't know what to do. And we will help you. And that is our specialty. That's what we kind of live and breathe, championing and supporting other people. So yeah, definitely connect. Don't be afraid to ask questions. There's no stupid question at all.
Yeah, and one more resource, there is a list of job fairs on
Yeah.
careerforce.mn.gov, and I put that in the chat. And it's not only Career Force sponsored job fairs, it's anybody can place a job fair there. So a lot of businesses have their own hiring events. So that's also worth checking out, and that's also where you can find a lot of job clubs. So look
And
at that resource.
yeah, absolutely. And that's again another area where if you were curious, remember, always be curious and do the research. You could just type into your phone, is there a website that lists all the job fairs, career fairs in Minnesota, or show me a website that lists all the career fairs in Minnesota. And it'll give you that resource. So anything that you think of or you're curious of, just speak it into your phone, type it into your phone. The way technology works now, it'll come to you, it'll pop up. But yes, please answer all your phone calls, even if you need to excuse yourself and because you're not interested in talking to people. Please be kind. And when people call you, please be kind to yourself and not being overly critical and beating yourself down. It takes about 5 to 6 months for folks to find a job. And this time period is very purposeful. Maybe you need to de-escalate and exhale and take a deep breath. And this is good for you to be able to make this change. But connect with your local career force. There's no silly question. We're just people too. Remember, and the people that you're applying for in the jobs and companies, they're just people too. Everybody's doing their best. We want to see you succeed and we want to champion and support you. So please show up, ask for help. We are happy to take care of you and get you to where you want to be. Thank you for joining us today. Sorry for the early chunkiness. We hope to see you at another Career Force event webinar in the future, and have a beautiful, beautiful day. Please contact your local Career Force. They're just some of the best people I've ever met. And we will connect with you on where you're at and what's going on with you. Thank you.